on, guys? Trey Lowell here, and if you don't already know, in today's video we're covering a lens that's actually been sitting on my camera shelf for years, but I recently bought the Metabone Speed Booster, the 0.71 for my GH5. This just unlocked an arsenal of glass that I've just had collecting dust, and the number one piece of glass that I'm now using on top of my 24-105 is this 50mm Canon f1.8 that I bought years ago for like $150, and now paired up with my GH5, it's absolutely a low light beast as far as the GH series goes. Now, we're all familiar with the fact that these cameras really don't perform that well, probably anything over 1600 ISO. Now, granted, you can definitely film at 32, and I do it all the time, but the reason that I wanted to spend some time on this particular lens is that I've taken it out now recently in several different environments. Recently, I actually took it out in the snow, and here's some footage of what it looked like at night. So for a GH5 and a $150 lens paired up with the Metabones, that footage is pretty solid, and the vast majority of it was shot in slow-mo, so either 4K 60 or 1080 at 120 frames per second. So what does that mean? Well, in a nutshell, you're gonna have to crank up that shutter a little bit more, which is why I'm so impressed with how this particular lens functioned at night. Now, I was shooting at an f1.3, so your first reaction is an f1.3 that makes zero sense. Well, the upside of purchasing this Metabone Speed Booster that I've found recently is that, let's just take for instance this piece of glass, an f1.8. Now, when paired up with the Metabone Speed Booster, this now cranks it down on the GH5 and GH series down to an f1.3. Another example would be my Canon 24-105 f4. That's actually going to be cranked down to an f2.8, which is awesome when it comes to these lenses. Once I got an ND filter for this thing and was able to take it outside, holy guacamole, you get some great B-roll. I do find the focus, it's very touchy, but once you kind of get it locked in, it definitely keeps focus, and on top of that, it's definitely quick to the spot of focus that you want to actually pull. So if you know exactly where you're going to want to pull focus and you got it locked in, this thing's phenomenal. Whereas I find with my Panasonic glass, sometimes there's a slight delay, and I think that has to do with the focus by wire. For those of you not aware, when you kind of pair this piece of glass up with the Panasonic GH5, in a nutshell, this 50mm roughly turns into like 100mm, which is kind of awesome for a lot of situations. And it really boils down to, like, when I go out and about and I'm shooting with this piece of glass, I don't have to really get necessarily close to anything. Typically with like a 50mm piece of glass on like a full frame, you're gonna have to get a little bit closer, but with this one I can kind of be far back and still kind of goof around and get some nice tight shots. Now, I am a huge fan of the Lumix glass, but recently when I got the Speed Booster and unlocked my Canon 24-105, this 50mm, and then also a 70-200. When paired up with this is going to be the closest option to full frame, and I think that's why I'm kind of falling in love with using the Canon glass. So hey guys, it's Trey Lowell with Lowell Productions, and if you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like the content I keep creating on this channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.